Hello everyone, so I will be going over the analyzing and creating the setting activity in Schoology for Friday. So for this activity, when you log on, you're going to see a picture and it's a brief excerpt from Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. I included this in here so you guys could kind of get a sense of an example of a great setting and how it paints a vivid picture in the mind of the reader. And also I love Edgar Allan Poe, he's creepy and he's cool. So for here, you're going to see the instructions are here on Schoology in addition to being on the actual Google document itself. So just like the other assignments, you would go here in the instructions and you're going to click on the green setting for it to open up a Google Doc that you'll make a copy of. So when you make a copy, it's going to prompt you and you're going to open up a new window, make copy, say yeah. It does it. Oh, okay, and when you get here, you will see that it was second to load. It's going to be a graphic that'll help you kind of conceptualize what a setting is and what it, even though we'll be talking about this in class, but it's still a good refresher on what it is. It's not loading, but it's up here. Here it goes. Okay, so it's all about thinking about setting. So what does setting entail? It's about the weather, the sensory experiences, right? Touch, taste, sound, sight, smell, time, the time of day. Is it nighttime? Is it daytime? When in history? Is it the 30s? Is it present? Is it medieval? Location, geographical? Is it in Europe? Is it fantastical? Is it a fantasy realm? Is it in the mountains, in a valley? Something like that, right? And of course, mood and atmosphere. And as we know, the mood is the emotional feeling that a setting responds, right? If you're in a creepy haunted house setting, you're going to get moods of anxiety, unsuredness, maybe loneliness, right? Creepiness, stuff like that. That's what mood has to do with. So here you'll see that this is an explanation of what setting is, which I just went over. And it's introduced at the exposition of a story, which is also known as the beginning. Also, settings make use of vivid imagery, which, like it sounds, is conveying images in writing, right? Describing something in explicit detail to really paint a vivid picture in the reader's mind. Mood, like we said, is the feeling that the reader experiences, and tone, which is the writer's attitude toward a subject. So how does the writer feel about this? Is the writer making fun of it? Does he enjoy it? Is he angry at it? Does he agree with it? Does he disagree with it? Is he apprehensive? That's the kind of tone we want, right? So in part one, the instructions tell you to read an excerpt from Charles Dickens' Hard Times and answer the questions that follow. So this is an excerpt from his novel Hard Times, and you're going to read this and answer these questions that follow. What sensory images are created in this setting? Describe the mood of the setting. What do they reveal about the industrial activities? And what kind of characters do you think would inhabit this setting? So give this a read, and then you're going to answer these questions in 1 to 2 sentences each. Now for part two, you're going to analyze this picture here as a setting. So first we're going to look at it, and then after that, you're going to write a 100-word paragraph, or I'm sorry, 75-word paragraph that explains the setting in vivid imagery as if this was a setting you were imagining as a writer. So underneath the picture, you'll see a table that's asking you, what can you smell, right? In this setting, maybe you're the man, maybe you're the dog, maybe you're someone who can't be seen, maybe we are viewing this setting scene in this picture through the eyes of the character that you are assuming. So what can you smell? Can you smell the trees? Can you smell the woods, the water? What does it smell like? Maybe it's brackish water. Maybe it's very crystal clear. All that kind of stuff, right? There was a campsite here. Maybe it's the smell of like freshly burned wood. What can you hear? What can you hear in this setting, in this forest setting? Maybe it's dead silent. Maybe you hear scary screams in the distance. Maybe you hear beautiful fairies dancing in the breeze. I don't know. You're going to write one simile describing the forest. And as we remember, similes are a figurative device that compares an object to another using like or as. So what can you say about this? Maybe the forest was as silent as a cemetery, something like that. Also, you're going to describe the feeling of one object you touch in detail. And again, it depends on who character you are. If you're the man, maybe you pet the dog and you describe what the dog's fur feels like. Maybe you like this crashed car in the corner and you describe what that feels like, or the tent. Maybe the water. If you plunged your hand in the water, what would it feel like? Be creative in this and have fun with it. And then lastly, in that chart, you're going to describe how you feel standing in this setting, the mood, right? So the mood, again, is the feelings that are evoked in the reader. So how do you feel in this setting? Do you feel lonely? Do you feel scared? Do you feel maybe like you're being watched? Or maybe it's a very positive experience for you. Maybe you feel tranquil, you feel relaxed and at ease. Depends on what kind of take you want to do on this. Lastly, in part 3, you're going to write a 100-word paragraph describing the setting of the picture above from the perspective of a character. This could be the man in the picture, right? The man in the picture. It could be the dog in the picture, or maybe it's just somebody that we don't even see. Maybe we're looking through this setting through their eyes. Maybe they're behind this car. Maybe it's someone behind a tree in the distance. We don't know. It's up to you. Get creative. But no matter what view you want to use, you have to describe at least 3 objects in as much detail as possible. Because remember, vivid imagery makes a setting come to life. So you're describing at least 3 objects in here as in much detail as possible. So I hope you find this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys on Zoom.